Welcome. In this lesson, we're just going to make sure you're observant and can look at two figures and determine if they are congruent or not. And I highly recommend you follow this process or this pattern of starting at a corner and working your way around either clockwise or counterclockwise. Now, I need to emphasize that they both don't need to be going clockwise. One could be going clockwise and one could be going counterclockwise as long as the order stays the same as they progress. So what I mean by that is this. I'm going to start looking at A, which has this double arc, which corresponds to S. Then I'm going to go along a 19-inch to hit to a single arc. So I'm going to go along a 19-inch to a single arc. And that so far is working great. Then I'm going to go to go across the 22-foot side to a right angle. I'm going to go across the 22 side to a 22-foot side to a right angle. Then I'm going to go across the 17-foot side to a right angle, a 17-foot side to a right angle, and then I'm going to go from the right angle across 30 feet back to a angle S, or the double angle. So these are congruent. They've just been flipped around or rotated in some way, but they are congruent because the pattern is consistent in the same order. Okay, so again, highly recommend you start at pick one. I don't care. Oh, well, first of all, if you'll notice, all the angles are congruent. They all have a single arc, which means they're all congruent. And all the sides are 79, and all the sides are, they're both regular polygons. Those are absolutely congruent. Every part's the same. So that one should have been a very simple one. Again, here, they don't have everything, and so I'm a little concerned that these might not be congruent. I'm going to just follow it through and see what happens, though. I'm going to find one that has a single arc with the angle. I'm going to go across a single tick to a double angle. So I'm going across a single tick to a double angle. Then I'm going to go across a double tick to a single angle. And then I'm going to go across the double to I don't know what that angle is. It doesn't have any markings on it. So the question is, could this be congruent? Well, this might be a little bit steeper or a little bit narrower. I'm not sure this angle or this angle. There's no way, there's not enough information to really show that those two are congruent because I don't know this angle or this angle. I don't know if they're congruent to the other ones. So I cannot prove that. There is not enough information. Again, we're just going to work your way around. I start with a single tick. I start with the single tick, and then I go to some unknown angle, and I go to some unknown angle. Well, that right there throws me up a red flag for me because with that unknown angle, I'm not sure. Now, it does look like these are the same. In other words, we have a double tick, a single arc, and a double tick, a single arc, and a double tick. But without knowing that angle or these angles, again, there's no way to know if those angles are the same or not. So no, you cannot determine if that. And this is just going to take some intuitive thinking. Now here, oh, this looks really good. It looks like they're going to be congruent. I'm going to start with the right angle, go to a single tick mark, past the double. Start at a right, go past the double to a single tick mark. So far, so good. Going from the single arc past the single tick mark to a double. Going from the single arc past a single tick mark to a double angle. That's so far good. Going from the double past the triple to a right angle. Going past the double, past the triple to a right angle. So it worked. That is congruent. Opposite sides are congruent. Opposite sides are congruent. Opposite sides have single tick marks. All these are congruent rectangles. Those are congruent squares. Some are very easy to obviously notice. As long as they have the same number of ticks, that means they're congruent. Oh, now this one, I'm a little nervous. I mean, I'm not even nervous. I know they're not congruent because this tick mark and single tick, all four of these sides are congruent. All four of these are not. These are not congruent. because you see a difference in those number of tick marks. That means they are not the same length. Double tick, double tick, double tick, double ticks, triple tick, single tick, single tick. We have these double arc measures, single arc, single. Hey, those are congruent. Absolutely. All of the, ooh, hopefully you can just glance at that one and say that there's no way to tell that's congruent. That side's even longer than all the others. Some of them should be fairly simple and straightforward. Single tick marks, okay, looking good. Double tick marks, 149, 149, 31, 31. Yep, looks good to me. Ooh, got to be careful here. We have a 79. We have a 79. A 79 can go to a 126, which goes to a 126, which then goes to a 93, which then goes to a 93, which then goes to a 62, which then goes to a 62, which then goes to a 79, which then goes to a 79. Oh, they look like they're congruent. Wait a minute. This one's a little bit smaller than this one. All the same angles does not prove congruency. I could shrink it or expand it, make it bigger or smaller. And if I can make it bigger or smaller, they are not congruent. So you need to have the sides known as well. You can't just know the angles. Here we have all the angles known. Now we look at the sides. We have a 23 and a 23 and a 29. Well, they're not congruent. 33, 33, 14. Oh, they're not congruent. 4 right angles, 43s, 69s. Yep, they're congruent. There's some missing angles in here. I would not say those are congruent. Well, the sides are even this difference in length. 28 didn't march 31. Again, we have all these, the sides are different in length, 65, 65, and those are 50. They are not congruent. I'm hoping this is easy for you and goes very smoothly. Again, 1 tick mark, 2, 3, 4. Got to go in the same order. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then between the 1 and the 2 is an 82. There's an 82. Between the 2 and the 3, there's a 134. 134. Between the 3 and the 4, there's a 78. Between the 3 and the 4, there's a 78. And then 66. Absolutely congruent. All the angles have the same single arc. All the sides have a single tick mark. Yes, they are congruent. We have a 66. We have a 66, a 66, a 53, 53, 114, 114, 45, 45, 66, 66, 53, 53, 114, 114, 45, 45. Yep, followed all the way around in the right order. Yes, they are congruent. Okay, we have these, ooh, we don't have any tick marks on these top and bottom sides. There's no way to tell if those are congruent. Those sides should be extended and longer. 63, 63, all right angles. Yes, they are congruent because if they're right angles, then opposite sides, they're squares. And so all 3 sides are 63. Absolutely not congruent. You can even see that that's not a right angle. 70 degrees, or sorry, 68 meters, 70 meters. They're not even the same length. We got 79, 52. We got 4 right angles. They're rectangles, and yes, they are congruent. Okay, we got a 48 next to a 1 tick mark. 48 next to, oh, there is no 1 tick marks. Nope, so they are not. 4 single tick marks, 4 single tick marks. We have 2 single arcs, 2 single arcs, 2 double arc. Yep, they are congruent. All the corresponding parts match up. All of them have a, ooh, we don't have some angles marked here. No way, we have no clue. And last one, we have all the sides are congruent. 40, well, let's see, 44, 44. Oh, 15 and 17, no way. Hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions, please bring them to